So we've got a forum question here, and what we're looking at is a revolve, and it is a solid revolve here. And we want to make this into something hollow so that we can pour concrete into it, take two halves of this part off, and basically be able to pour a mold so that we can make concrete in this shape. How do we do that? Let's talk about first hollowing this out. One way that we can do is we'll go to Model, we'll go to Shell, and then I'll shell this at 0.05 right here. I can choose a face to remove if I want to have it be open at that face, but we'll just clear all and shell it. And now, if I inspect, I can see that I have a regularly constant thickness hollow area, right? And then maybe I want a hole that I can pour concrete in from. So I can create a sketch on this face, and I'll go ahead and choose a circle tool here. And I'll make sure that we are on the origin. We'll give this a dimension of let's say 0.75. I don't know what a good size for concrete is. And then we'll go ahead and extrude. I'm going to select to next, in the other direction, of course. And we're able to make a hole that we can pour concrete in, right? Now you can make the argument, and I'll actually, let's activate a precise section view for this. We'll go actually on the XY plane, we'll reverse. Now you can say that we made this model, right? And these outside dimensions are what we want our final part to be. And when we shell, the hollow area that concrete is going to fill is offset, so the part is like scaled smaller than the dimensions that we actually want. And so one option that we can do is if we've modeled our part to its final dimensions and we want to shell it, we'll choose the shell outward, and that moves the thickness to the other side so that our original part is the size that the hollow cavity will be. There's no sizing problem. Now we'll roll forward, and there's our hole. Well, now our goal is to get this into two pieces so that we can be able to split this effectively. And here we've got a lot of draft going on, right? This is drafted like 5 degrees on each side so that we can pull this top part off the mold very, very easily. And we need to kind of split this according to draft. Now, some platforms have this function where you can choose like a plane or an infinitely thin surface and split the part on that. As of the recording of this video, that is not currently supported. So let's talk about 2 ways that we can do that. Of course, the boring way and the not fun way is to delete the part that you want to have be the other side, do a save as, and then flip that sketch and delete the other part and put these 2 parts together as separate part files. And you know, that for a lot of people isn't a workflow that they want to go down, but it is an option, right? If that suits you. Another way that we can do this is I'll click on my XY plane and create a sketch. Now I'm going to project my revolution sketch here. We'll maintain association, and we'll put this in as a reference. And I just want to reference right where this arc becomes vertical. So I'll create a line right there. We'll add a coincident relation so that this point sits right on this arc. We'll make sure that this line is vertical. And we'll go with tangent. And so I can see that the point on my line right here is directly at the point of tangency. So that's our point of tangency, and perhaps I'd like to make a line. Of course, we can make sure that it's coincident onto that point of tangency so that it's constrained right. So now I know that everything below this line can fall off and everything above this line can fall off, and we're good with our draft. So when we go to split this part, right, this is the only part that we need to split. Let's go with deactivating our sketch. We'll go with a thin revolve. So we just click this little drop down and choose thin revolve. Again, this is for Pro and Expert. If you're in Atom 3D, you could probably just do a rectangle with the following dimension. We'll go with our sketch axis to revolve over here. We'll go with our sketch to revolve first of all, and then our sketch axis to revolve. right there. And then normally this will come in at like a thickness of 1, and you can see that that's not ideal, but we can change this thickness to be something like 0.00001. I might even be able to add an extra 0 in there for good measure. And we've come up with a gap that is so insanely thin, we definitely can work with it, right? This will fit many, many, many times within pretty much any tolerance out there. It is so small. So we haven't really lost anything. We've been able to split this part. And yeah, that's how we can hollow out and create a section on something, I think, pretty easily. Now, if we need to move parts around, right, we don't really have a built-in feature for moving bodies, but that's okay because we have surface tools. So I can convert to surface. I can say move this part along its surface. I'll go with a precise move in this case. I'll move it down this axis, let's say a distance of 3 inches. Okay, and then I can stitch them back. And I can also choose this surface to stitch to solid as well. So yeah, that's some ways that we can work with 2 halves of a single part and be able to make some of these casting design workflows. Hopefully this is helpful. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Libre channel. We'll see you in the next one.